And until we decide that this is wrong, that we do not want this, that we want our politicians to represent us, not the companies that are paying for them to be elected, this kind of shit's still gonna happen. And the people who you are electing to represent you on the national stage, or even just the city stage or the county stage, in this particular instance, are bought and paid for. Well, hi there. We got a spicy one today, baby. As most of you probably know, there is a very consequential county commissioner's race happening right now in Montgomery County, Texas, Precinct 2. The candidates of this race being Bob Harvey and Charlie Riley. Now, I said that today is going to be a spicy one, and I guarantee you it's going to be. I don't think it's any huge secret to anybody that pays attention to politics, even in the slightest bit, that big money tends to run our politicians. And by big money, I mean companies, countries, foreign entities, whatever. These entities will donate to the campaign of their choosing for the candidate of their choosing so that they makes it easier for them to get elected, obviously because they get more money, right? But inevitably what ends up happening, that candidate ends up doing the bidding of that entity or multiple entities for that matter, instead of doing the bidding for their constituents, for the people who put them in office. And today, we got a pretty good example of that. The topic of this actually came up in a prompted question for both candidates in a public forum that we just had for this race a couple days ago. Check it out.
What is one specific policy or rule change would you propose for the Commissioner's Court to increase ethical accountability and reduce the influence of special interests in awarding county contracts?
Being in oil and gas and looking at the being a champion of ethics and compliance, I do not believe that anybody on the Commissioner's Court should receive any funding from anybody that has a contract with the county. I believe that opens up roads. It's the same thing with lobbyists and all of the rest of the things. I don't believe that we should be going out and having contracts and opening up a potential can of worms. I would rather just see individuals that we give contracts to that are the best qualified to be able to do it, knowing that there's no influence anywhere on that because they're not contributing to anybody's campaign. So I would have no problems going in and asking countywide at the Commissioner's Court to say no to donations from engineering companies, from contractors and builders and the rest of it. Go out, competitive bids on everything, and then also when it comes down to developments and the rest of it, that's a separate issue that has nothing to do with us picking winners and losers.
Something else you just don't understand. We cannot bid engineer projects. We cannot put a bid out for an engineer. It's against the law. So we have to pick whatever engineer, whatever architect that we want to use. There's no other way to do it. You have to pick them. You can't put it out to bid. That's just the way the law is. So I don't know how you expect anybody else to do anything. Everything we deal with as a commissioner is mainly engineers. We're working on roads, engineering bridges. We have to figure out a way to pick this out, pick the engineer we know that does the best job on the bridge, does the best job on drainage, that does the best job on roads, does the best job on overpasses. That's how you have to operate. There's no other way to do it. You can bid all this other stuff out you want to. When you talk about engineers, you have to pick them. There's no other way to do it. You can say what you want to. Y'all say whatever you want to. It's not true. You have to pick what you want to use. There's no other way to do it.
As you can tell, Bob Harvey, he actually answers the question and states that he does not believe that other companies, other special interests should have any business donating to county commissioners at all, whatsoever. Because, like he said, it opens up a proverbial can of worms that ends up leading to corruption. And then on the flip side, Charlie Riley completely negates answering the question for this reason. He's complicit in receiving this money from these developers, from these engineering companies, from a lot of different other companies that partake in the overdevelopment of this county. And I know a lot of y'all have a problem with the overdevelopment of this county. I do. And I know a lot of y'all have issues with the overdevelopment of not only just this county, but this city of Magnolia. I know I do, and that is why I'm paying such close attention to this race. That's why I'm doing everything that I'm doing on social media to be able to get this guy out. Today, what we're going to be doing is going through Charlie Riley's campaign filing of his financial records from that show his donors and the people who have donated to his campaign. Now, I'm not going through all of them, of course, because that would be a very long video, but because it's 157 pages or some odd, just in this one file, and I will be including that file in the description. So, along with all the other, let's just get that out of the way, along with all the other sources of information that I have put into this presentation for y'all, everything will be readily available for y'all to go and do your own research. I like to think I'm doing this so that y'all don't have to. So, without further ado, let's get into it. And we're going to start off with the spicy one, baby. Now, as you can see, I have redacted the names and the pictures and all this other stuff of these people as to avoid legal implications. Because I hear this campaign of Charlie Riley, they tend to do stuff like that. But, yeah, I mean, it's just my opinion. It's just my opinion, you know what I mean? So, the first one we got here, this guy, his name is Jeff. Now, where does Jeff work? Mr. Jeff works as the senior vice president of LJA Engineering. Now, you may be asking yourself, I've never heard that name before. Why does that have anything to do with this race? Why does that have anything to do with anything we're going over today? Well, it's very important, and we're going to bring it back up to you. LJ Engineering happens to be the company that was contracted for Old Conroe Road. A specific, this is spicy here. This is very, 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 very spicy. The reason why it's so spicy is because Old Conroe Road has been a subject of questionability throughout Charlie Riley's tenure as county commissioner. This should have been done probably a decade ago, but as of, I believe, 2 days ago, they just confirmed the contract was approved and everything is good to go on it. Miraculously, whenever election season comes around. Funny how that works, huh? And just by coincidence, the engineering service for that road happens to be LJA Services. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Ty, you know, I mean, it's one company, right? And it's one time, you know, I mean, you know, they have to pick certain companies, and yeah, they might donate to his campaign. Hold on to that thought. Just in case that wasn't good enough for you, we have the next subject. Consor Engineers with a donation of $5,000 to the Charlie Riley campaign. As you can tell, Consor Engineers, $2.7 million for the FM 1774 to Jackson Road environmental design. I mean, you know, but you know, like that. It's only one time. It's only one company. This is $9,000. What are we talking about here? $9,000. Okay, whatever. And here we got ETRA Engineering PAC. If y'all don't know what PAC stands for, it stands for Political Action Committee. These are basically entities that a bunch of other different companies can be a part of that donate to, and then they donate to candidates on behalf of this PAC. And it's kind of a little bit of a gray area because it kind of makes it hard to be able to pinpoint who actually is donating to certain candidates. But in this case, we found IDS Engineering Group. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? So $5,000 from the ETRA Engineering PAC. All the resources for every single thing that I'm putting in this video is going to be listed in the description below. Like that. Don't take my word for it. Go do your research yourself. If you're like me and you're of the belief that you do not believe that your candidate that who you vote for to represent you should be getting money on behalf of other companies that have special interests in the place that you live, you're going to get a lot from this. But, you know, you got the guys out there that are inevitably going to say, oh, this is lying. Oh, you're cherry picking, blah, 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 blah. As it pertains to cherry picking, I picked from the 157 pages of the monetary political contributions. of companies that donated about $2,000 to $3,000 more, or about $2,000 to $3,000 to Charlie Riley's campaign. Now, I missed a couple. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there. I did miss a couple. But like I said, I'm putting all the references in the freaking description, so go look at them yourself. If anything, it would make it worse, but, you know, I don't want to make this video an hour long because people's attention spans are, you know, they change at the drop of a pin nowadays. So that's where we're at now. Moving on to the next one. This person's name was Nick. He donated $10,000 to the Charlie Riley campaign. Again, you might be thinking, I mean, it's, yeah, $10,000, it is what it is. No. This is what is wrong with American politics. Ever since the case of Citizens United in 2010, you know, you might remember that, it basically gives corporations the same rights as people whenever it comes to donating to specific candidates. And the problem with that is it inevitably leads to corruption like this. Like this situation where a county commissioner is receiving to the tune of over hundreds of thousands of dollars from these companies, and then on the back end get rewarded with these contracts to do the work. I'll tell you what, if I haven't convinced you, let's do rapid fire round, huh? Let's do it now. Let's do it. Cobb Finley PAC, $5,000. This guy William or Bill, $2,060.02 to the Charlie Riley campaign. David Blank, WSB Engineering, $5,000. John Blank, Blyle and Associates, $2,500. IDS Engineering Group PAC that we saw earlier, $2,500. And now another spicy one that I actually put out there earlier yesterday. This guy Vince works for, guess who? LJA Engineering. Now, it is a donation of $3,000, but now keep in mind LJA Engineering and Surveying has had several contracts awarded to them with county work. Now, let me ask you something here. This is this person's LinkedIn. You can go like that. You can go and look for yourself. This is very interesting. Senior project manager, January 1998 to present, 28 years, 2 months. And then he gets a promotion to vice president of LJA Engineering, May 2019 through the present. Now you might be asking yourself, Ty, what does that matter? I mean, he just got a promotion. What's the importance of that? It's good for him, honestly. But what's important about that is that if you go to ljengineering.com and you look at the staff, he is not there. Now, I don't know if that's a glitch in the system, if the person that runs the website just hasn't updated it yet. Seems unlikely since this change happened in 2018. That's almost 10 years ago. You'd think they'd update it by now. Or if maybe he made a mistake on his LinkedIn profile. That could be the case too. But if it's not, it's still kind of weird. Moving on, let's see who we have next. Hilda with Rods, Surveying, and Utilities, $5,000. And more examples of Rod Surveying being involved with Montgomery County. Let's see who else we got, shall we? Larry the Lobster, $5,000, works for IDC US, part of the widening of State Highway 249. If you're still asking yourself at this point, honestly, I mean, you know, it's not illegal. It's not illegal for these people to donate to this campaign. And yeah, you'd be right, as I pointed out earlier with the Citizens United case. The longer we wait as a society to realize that bought and paid for politicians should be a thing of the past, the longer corrupt politicians are going to run rampant in our government. State, city, county, president, whatever. It happens everywhere. And until we decide that this is wrong, that we do not want this, that we want our politicians to represent us, not the companies that are paying for them to be elected, this kind of shit's still going to happen. Let's keep it going, shall we? This one's pretty funny. This one's not even a company, but wow, it's a campaign donating $2,400 to another campaign. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Whenever I first saw this, my head exploded. In my head, I said, there's no way that this is legal. There's no way that this is an actual thing that people can do. Other politicians donating from their campaign funds to to another person's campaign. There's no way that's legal. Unfortunately, I'm fucking wrong. It is absolutely legal. This is a case of a career politician supporting another career politician whenever it comes to campaign funds. If you don't have a problem with this, I don't know how we move forward as a society. But hey, to each their own, I guess. I guess we're just going to keep ignoring that. Let's keep it moving, shall we? This guy's Sargon, IDCS, $5,000. What do you know? Next. Singh, this guy actually, I didn't block out his name down here, so these were public pages, so it really doesn't even matter. And this guy, Bobby Singh, donates $10,000 to his campaign. Believe it or not, he's in the top 5 people who donate to Montgomery County officials. I mean, dude, you can't make this shit up. I mean, I wish this was a giant lie. I wish I was trying to push propaganda. No, I don't. I feel like I'm too straightforward to do something like that. But dude, I swear we are living in a simulation. I mean, if anything, they enable it. The picture that I posted yesterday, there's people, oh, well, it's technically legal. And maybe they're just ignorant, right? Maybe they just don't understand the extent that it has gone to with this specific candidate. Charlie Riley, by the way, if I haven't said his name in a little bit. But dude, I'm telling you, I wish I was making this shit up, but unfortunately, I'm not. So let's keep it moving, huh? All right, this guy Majid, $3,500, and then another $1,500 donation for a grand total of $5,000 donated. Aga Engineering worked on the Beltway. Granted, it's not in Montgomery County, sure, but he's done work around us before. Now, this next donation, this next one. This one absolutely blew me away. Not in the amount, but in the manner of which they donated. So let's check it out, huh? This guy Vijaya. $500 donations. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 donations of $500 each. For a grand total of $6,000 donated. I mean, I'm at a loss for words. Why is this person donating $500 12 different times? And it was over the course of a few months. And I didn't include the dates on these, but like I said, you could go to the link down below and you can see these. He takes up I think 2.5 pages of donations. But the dates on these they show, it's so weird. They're almost on the same exact number day almost every single month. Not the same day during the week, but the 9th, 10th, 12th, whatever. It's very strange. Very strange. But anyways, let's get to how he has impacted Montgomery County, shall we? Vijaya with Kaivi Consulting, Terra Boulevard on FM 149, $518,000 for this project. I mean, like that. I mean, at this point, I don't understand how somebody could not look at all this and still support this guy. But there will inevitably be people out there that support this guy, that bootlick for this guy, that just put the blinders on. Like, oh, I can't see. What are you trying to say? No, what you're saying is the devil. He would never do something like that. Even if he did, it's still legal. Like that. I'm not making the point that he's doing something illegal here. I'm making the point that this kind of activity from politicians has no business being in American politics anymore. And I'm sure, and I know a lot of you guys feel the same way I do. Stick with me now. There's only a couple more. There's only 18 people. 18. Pape Dawson Engineers Pack, $8,000 right there in the Montgomery County Municipal Utility District, or MUDS, showing us doing an engineering report for, Woodson's Grand Drive and Woodson's Reserve Section 28. I mean, and I want to make an important note here. You expect this from federal candidates. I'm talking House of Representatives. I'm talking Senate. I'm talking the president even. You'd expect this from these guys. Hell, I expected it from those guys. I knew it was going on, but I had no idea that this kind of thing would be going on so close to home. I think I put out a post the other day. I was like, y'all think DC is bad? Just start paying attention to your local government to open up a whole new can of worms. And let me tell you, that rings so true. Anyway, guys, This is the research that I've done. This is just 18 donations, 18 out of 157 page long candidate filing form. This is just 18. And from these 18 donations, we are at $91,460 just from these 18 donations. I'm not saying that anything that I have gone over in this video is illegal. For the record, this is legal. Nothing about anything that I've gone over so far has been illegal. Now, the campaign thing, borderline, but the point of all this is I'm trying to show y'all that there is a politician in your backyard, your hometown, that is receiving to the tunes of hundreds of thousands of dollars in funding and campaign funding. And then once he's elected, giving them contracts through the back door, and they do work for the county, and that's it. Like that. I'm not affiliated with Bob's campaign. I'm nowhere near on his payroll or anything like that. I just like the guy. I'm supporting the guy. And he's calling this stuff out, so I figured, let me help him out. Since I'm definitely not donating hundreds of thousands of dollars to his campaign. And I went through his records, and he's definitely not getting that money either. So like that. Nothing's illegal. But I want you to all ask yourself something. Is this who you want to have running your government? Are the kinds of people that take hundreds of thousands of dollars in campaign funds from special interests, from companies, to represent them whenever after they get elected? Are those the kinds of candidates you want running your cities, your counties, your representative districts, your Senate? Are those the kinds of people that you want running your government in general? If the answer is yes, I mean, I can't help, it's just these rhino Republicans. I mean, I get it. I understand that's why they think the way they think. It's what got us into the global war on terror. It's what got us into so much shit over the course of my life, 28 years. And if you think I'm exaggerating, why don't you go do a little bit of research into who donated to the George Bush campaign and then who got the fucking no-bid contracts to get the oil out of the Middle East. I can tell you one thing, we definitely weren't fucking there for weapons of mass destruction. That's come to the forefront of being absolute bullshit. We were there for the oil, people. Wake up. And it was an oil company that donated to its campaign. Lots of oil companies donated to that George Bush campaign. Like that. Charlie Riley's not the first guy to do this, but the fact that it was happening in my own backyard from the county commissioner that represents my precinct, I couldn't be silent. And what's funny about me is usually whenever I see stuff like this that kind of baffles me, that it's actually true, that I can verify for myself, I tend to go deep down the rabbit holes. Deep down the rabbit holes. And so whenever I saw this, I started going deep down this rabbit hole, and come to find out the stuff that people had been telling me that this guy was participating in is actually true. I'd been told this stuff by people, but I always thought it was rumors. I thought it was exaggerated. There's no way, this stuff could actually be going on. He's just a county commissioner. I mean, really. And I know that's probably what some of y'all think. And man, let me tell you, like that, do your own research, look into this shit yourself. This shit is probably going on in your backyard. Like that, even if you don't live in the precinct where I live, do your own research into the guys that is your county commissioner, that is your mayor, your city council members, the people that represent you where you live. Look into their campaign stuff. They have to file it. But they know it's so extensive that nobody's going to do the research into it. This is how they get away with it. They make it so hard to read the shit that nobody wants to put in the effort to actually read it and cross-reference who this person is donating, where they're from, who they work for, that kind of stuff. Trust me, they know how much effort you have to put into researching all this shit. And it is that way by design. The more confused the people are, the less susceptible they are to finding out the deep, dark secrets, the corruption, the lies. That's why I made this video, man. I consider myself a patriot. I love my country. I love everything about my country, even, the left, the right, everything that's wrong with my country. I love everything about it. What's different about our country that separates us from the rest of the world? One thing, believe it or not, one thing. The First Amendment, the freedom of speech, the freedom to criticize your own government. If I was to do this in China, straight to jail.
Right to jail.
Russia, straight to jail.
Right to jail. Right away.
North Korea, straight to jail.
Believe it or not, jail. Right away.
Hell, even England now. They're putting you in jail for posting on Twitter, X, whatever you want to fucking call it. This is what sets us apart from everywhere else in this world. We can criticize our own government. We can find the corruption. We can find the lies for ourselves if we are willing to put in the effort. Some people aren't. I get it. Some people aren't good with numbers. I understand. I consider myself as somebody who's not necessarily good with numbers, but I mean, I could sure type in a Google search, that's for sure. Hell, we even have a great resource now in ChatGPT. It's probably the best thing whenever it comes to trying to find out this shit. But governments that go unchecked, where does that inevitably lead? It leads to socialism. It leads to authoritarianism. It leads to dictatorships. It leads to Holocaust. It leads to breadlines. It leads to famines. You live in the greatest country in the world. And the people who you are electing to represent you on the national stage, or even just the city stage or the county stage, in this particular instance, are bought and paid for. I hope by now in this video y'all can kind of get a better understanding of where I'm coming from and what I'm trying to show y'all. Like that. If this is just my opinion and my opinion alone, great. Whatever. I got it out there. Nobody else wants to agree with me. Fine. I know that's not right. I know there's a lot of you out there that agree with it. But hey, if I happen to be wrong, so be it. At least I know in my conscience that I'm doing the right thing. These kinds of acts deserve to be exposed. Hell, and it's even funny, everybody can look at this themselves. Like that I said, it's not illegal what they're doing. But I know almost everybody believes that this is not right. Anyways, guys, I hope y'all learned something from this. And I hope, at least for my county precinct too, for our sake, that you people who live there, who live in the city of Magnolia, watch this and take it seriously. Don't take my word for it. Go look it up yourself. I'm putting all the references down below. Everything will be available to you. Do it yourself. Don't take my word for it. This is just my opinion. And like I said earlier, if I'm the only one that thinks this way, fine. I know I'm not. I hope y'all paid attention, and I appreciate you guys watching if y'all made it to this point. Give me a like, give me a share, give me a subscribe, whatever you feel like you want to do, man. Stay cool, stay real, baby. We'll catch y'all on the next one.